Hello, Orville Nation. We got a great season 2 finale tonight to talk about. Awesome. What a big surprise Joe has prepared for all of us. What a treat. Let me see. Okay. Having a few issues, forgive me. We are ready to bring in ladies first. And there she is in her yellow. What is it again? It was a Survivor shirt, right? A Survivor shirt. And of course, our favorite meteorologist has recorded a special piece of footage for us to enjoy tonight. Welcome, Katie Nicolau. Hello, Katie.
Hello. You get to enjoy my suffering.
It was an awesome episode we had this week, huh?
It really was. I always prepare myself on Mondays. I'm like, all right, it's a Monday, but I got something good coming down the pipeline. Let's watch the show. And I'm just sitting there on my couch like, I wasn't prepared for that. Oh my gosh. Loved it though.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was very I don't know. I was going to say groundbreaking. It's not the right word. It was a lot of stuff happened. It
was very dramatic.
It was very dramatic. What's going on in so many fandoms?
Yeah, so we're doing our weekly Avatar: The Last Airbender podcast known as the Order of the Blue Lotus, myself and my friend Brandy. And a lot of people from Orville Nation have come over to support and enjoy it. And the support has been astounding. Brandy and I have never had a stream that had up to 78 views, so we're just like freaking out. So everyone, if you want to have a fun discussion about Avatar, if you've never seen the show, hop on over. Gap did it, and we had a great time.
I want to do something really quick. Can you put in your channel really quick?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. I am not moving on until every single person in this chat subs to Katie because we need to get her to 1,000 ASAP. But she has like millions of views on TikTok, and she's at like, and she hasn't gotten her channel monetized yet. So I would, and I want to say hello. By the way, I want to say hello to Catman. Yeah, that's Dee Dee Myers. Hello, Dee Dee Myers.
Hey.
Galinda, Jacob, Matt Ryan, Jeff Beeler, Rapunzel. Gap Stargate. Gap Stargate is a new channel coming up. He's doing our promos for us. He's going to give us some news really soon.
Oh, heck.
Time Profit, everybody. Let's see. Where's your channel, Katie?
Everyone ignore that. That was my actual channel. That was my professional channel where I put my resume reels. Don't look at it. It's garbage.
Okay. Louise. Hello, Colin. Louise, Peggy. Please share the stream, guys. Listen. I'm not going to say it yet. Okay, I'm going to wait till Joe comes on. All right. You got it?
That was a rookie mistake.
All right, I'm bringing in Kareen. Hello, Kareen.
There it is.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
It's so good for you to join us in your red alert there going on.
Yeah, I just wanted to set the mood dark and mysterious.
Katie, did you erase it or is this the correct channel?
That's the correct one. That's
okay.
The real one. I actually don't know where the old one went. It's great.
Got you. Everybody, please sub to So Many Fandoms. And I do want to ask really quick to Kareen. Kareen, how is your channel coming? I mean, what are your plans for your channel? Because that's going to launch soon.
Yes, I've got plans. So I think the two things I want to focus on is doing watches of things I've never watched before, because I think people like to see that kind of thing.
Ooh.
So
I have some shows for you.
Oh, send them my way. And I want to do kind of just a very chill talk section about kind of random stuff that I like. So sci-fi, gaming, that kind of thing, and just like have maybe different people on, and we just talk and do fun things like that. So yeah, it's gonna come. It's definitely gonna happen.
Awesome. And again, we have a loaded panel today for season 2 finale, and we've all been going through Nina withdrawal. So now that we just can't take any more without Nina, she has come to alleviate our pain. Hello, Nina. Welcome, Nina Infinity.
Hey, how's it going?
Good to see
I
you.
missed you guys too. It's been a long time. Feels like it's been forever, but I'm so excited to be here. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
Hi.
Missed you.
I don't want to call you Trash Panda. Hi, Coco.
Kareen.
Hi,
Kareen
Kareen.
or Coco's fine. Absolutely fine.
How are you?
Nina, what's going on in your channel this week?
Okay. I just put out a review for the sci-fi show, HBO sci-fi show, Raised by Wolves. I worked really hard on it, so check that out. And I'm going to be doing Infinite Talk on Wednesday on my channel with John Talk, so thank you. And I'll be on Toxic Femme later this evening on Midnight's Edge.
Awesome.
Nice.
Midnight's Edge. Awesome. All right. We want to bring in Dr. Adega and Dr. and author. I haven't gotten it down yet. Damn it. Dr. and author Adega Outlaw. Welcome, Adega.
I love making people bad.
Hey.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Pretty good. Warm weather. Put on the nice, easy clothes and enjoy the heat after a long winter. So it's
I thought you were in the bathrobe for a second. I was like,
no, it's just what is that? Linen. Nice and light, something easy.
All right.
But no, it's all good.
What's going on new with your books and your stuff?
Stuff I can't talk about.
Ooh.
Except on my channel, I took the Organza Witches from PG-13 and it turned hard R. So you guys want blood, guts, and gore? You could sign up. I don't do that with the sci-fi, but the fantasy, it gets it was hard to write and fun to record.
All right. So we want to bring in, of course, Baron Destructo himself, and we're gonna let's kick things off with Joe with a question. There's already a question in the chat for Joe. Do we still have a chance to get Netflix or another streaming service to pick up Dark Matter? Let's see if Joe can answer that for us. Welcome, Joe.
Hello.
Hi,
How's
Joe.
everybody?
There's the boss.
Hi.
Nina, I almost forgot what you looked like.
Oh my gosh.
So long.
You never have to forget. Just come to my channel and watch my content, and then you'll
Well,
be
actually,
like, oh
this-
yeah.
Ah.
That's what
Your
like.
picture is my screensaver. So
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so honored. I'm so
Yes.
honored.
to answer the question, the first 3 seasons are available on Netflix. So because they're available on Netflix, it's very unlikely that another streamer will pick them up because they're available on Netflix and not their streaming service. So the only place that could really pick it up is Netflix in terms of streaming. And, I've got a lot on my plate right now just in terms of pitching, but I'm actually going to go to Netflix with 3.5 pitches, I think, before the summer. And 3 pitches are going to be original ideas, and the half is going to be my Dark Matter miniseries pitch. So I'll keep you guys posted and let you know how it goes. Yes.
I'm waiting for the chat to just go and see everyone's comments.
Yeah.
I want to say, Joe, I got so mad after watching this episode because I was like, we need a season 4. We really need a season 4. I got pissed.
It's funny, I've been saying that I never watched the finished episodes. Like I watched the mixes. That's the final stage I watch when we layer in the music and the sound effects and everything. So it's a real treat for me to watch it many years later. And I have to say, this is one of those episodes that I thought was okay when I first screened, but I actually liked a lot more just because I'm a big fan of episodes where there's so much going on, which is why basically I like, having so many characters, ensemble casts, because you can play with different storylines. It's something I did on I did a list of all the season finales I did through Stargate and now Dark Matter, and they all have that in common. It's so much going on that kind of dovetails at the end in a almost like a catastrophic finale, and this was one.
I love this episode. I remember when I first watched it, this was one of my favorite episodes, minus the murder. I was like, what? No. No. But I also saw it coming, so it wasn't like one of those like hardcore surprises or anything. Like I knew it was going to happen, so I wasn't like, it wasn't like what happened with one. I was like, okay,
right.
I understand.
You were kind of prepared for it. You basically knew well enough not to trust me.
Yeah, well, that and also in that scene where she's like at the window when he's like proposing to her, and she's like, oh, and I was like, oh, she's gonna kill her. It's done. She's out. Nyx is out. So I knew. I was prepared. I was prepared.
Feminine rage.
Yeah. She was like, that bitch is gone. Oh, I'm sorry. I swore.
It's true. The unspoken script.
Joe, Jeff asks, where can one watch Dark Matter after Dark? Excuse me.
I thought the After Dark segments were available on YouTube. I could be wrong, but I remember that's where I remember seeing them. So After Dark was our after show that we did for season 2 and 3, or maybe just season 3.
Huh.
Well, here, I'm just checking YouTube, and they're all there.
I don't think I ever saw any.
Season 3.
Now I have something else to check out.
It's very informative. Yeah. Well, you can start with a next episode.
Okay.
So it's basically season 3.
Very cool.
I actually had to binge it again because I just watched this episode and then I was like, I can't stop here. So I
Oh my gosh, you went through everything?
Yeah, I watched the next one too.
Right.
At least just the first one, the season premiere.
Okay.
I watched it again. I was
So you
like,
put your
I
mind
can't-
at ease and find
Yeah.
out who else died or survived.
Yeah. How are you doing, Katie? How are you doing, Katie?
I knew. I was like, okay, so season finale, something big is going to happen. I don't trust that someone won't get axed. Just wasn't prepared for the scale of that last little. Is the best way to put it. Like the biggest explosion. I'm like, you just killed everyone, didn't you? I'm like, I can't even imagine if I was actually watching this as it was airing. How long did you guys have to wait on hiatus?
A year.
Ooh, okay, I'm lucky.
How dare you? How dare you?
I think as Jeff Mueller pointed out, it was more like 9 months.
Yeah, it was like
It's basically a year.
Yeah, it's basically a year.
Yeah.
I only have to wait a week. I feel good now.
Yeah, it was bad. The worst one is the one we're still waiting for. I'm like, what? No.
I have a couple of t-shirt designs that people have sent my way through Twitter and everything that I think I might have to put into action if the season 3 continues to carry on this chaotic form. There is one design that is my favorite, and it will be a shirt no matter what.
Oh, I can't wait.
Nice.
It's incredible.
I do want to give a message out there to anyone who's watching this or in the replay, because I've been informed lately of a lot of different influential people watching our streams. Don't be shy. Contact Joe. Let him know you want to pitch in. Or
I'm on
knows.
All of a sudden, your Twitter inbox is just fan fiction, one right after the other.
Especially if you have money and you want to, finance Dark Matter, please contact Joe.
If you have $30 million that is burning a hole in your pocket.
You're like, where can I drop this money off? Oh, okay.
And at that point, we could get our medieval castle, and we could just do the entire series 3 together in a castle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, when the time comes, you will tell, because somebody was asking whose email do we have to or do we have to at Netflix do we have to flood? If the time comes for a campaign, you will be clear with the
Yes,
fans.
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I will let you know.
Sweet.
Look, I have to say, I really love Tori's performance in this episode. I mean, she's always great. She's always a lot of fun, but she clearly relishes the role of Truffaut, who kind of skirts that line between, opportunism and benevolence.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
so unique in her delivery. Like, it just, like you mentioned, you can tell she enjoys it, and that makes it so much easier to watch. It makes it, when I go and watch other TV shows during the week, it makes me just be like, man, I wish they were all like this.
I agree. You can't tell. You kind of tell she's enjoying it.
Yeah, definitely.
wanna be a
Especially when
villain.
she's shooting, when she's shooting people, you can tell she's really enjoying that.
Corrine, how long has it been since you'd seen this episode?
Ooh. Well, I know I definitely watched Dark Matter last year, so I don't think it was like a whole year ago. It was definitely like mid last year, so probably that. Let's go with 6 months, maybe.
Who's your favorite character?
Oh, that's kind of hard, but it's definitely I love 3 because I love a bad boy, me. But I also like 5, but that's because I feel like as much as I'd love to be 2, I'll probably be 5. That's just me.
Same here. I would love to be 2, but I'm more geeky. I would figure out computers better.
I fully accept I am not a 2. Definitely the 5.
I'd be a mix. Definitely.
I could see you just going and cracking some skulls and then typing it into a computer. Definitely.
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, actually, like she said, I think I'm mostly 5, but I have the side of 2 where like I don't let people like run over me. I'm like, you ain't getting away with that.
All right, let's ask the rest of the females in the chat. Do you want to be a mix of 2 and 5, or do you want to be either one or the other?
What about you, Adega? I know you're not female, but
Play the
4.
hypothetical.
4.
Yeah?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Badass, dude. So like the male equivalent of 2. Okay, gotcha.
That works.
Well, I don't know if you kids down the side here. I've got stuff I haven't put away yet, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blades.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
I got toys and martial arts
I
in
love
my
4
blood.
too. 4 is so. He's just such a good character. I was just so
quickly though, like
happen.
how I originally felt with 3, like in the first season. Now I feel the same way about 4. I'm like, okay, you're being kind of a jerk. 3, you come over here. We're keeping you safe. We aren't going to let Joe hurt you. And then we focus on Rio.
But Rio did, in all fairness, send that message to the android and give them ample warning. He, he did make the pitch. I mean, in the season finale last year, not the season finale, the last episode, he could have basically just held them at the palace until they gave up the blink drive. Well, that probably could have been messy because, he would have had to rely on the android giving it up and would have had to threaten them, which really isn't his, his style. So he's actually asking nicely and looking after them. And basically did tell Misaki use, non-lethal force. And then you see that moment.
Yeah, but he killed his bro. That was.
He killed his bro, as I explained last week, because in that parallel universe episodes, when Portia and Boone are talking to him about what happened in their reality, they're like, your stepbrother has been giving you problems because he's been sort of pushing for like more democratic reforms.
Yeah.
So being the practical individual he is, he decided to take steps. And interestingly enough, in that episode, again, as I pointed out, when Portia and Boone are in the behind kind of the force shield or sealed in, Boone says, "You took care of him," and he does the throat cutting gesture, which kind of, hints at what's to come.
What's gonna happen?
I
saw it coming. I just was like, no, you're going down a path I can't follow.
Yeah, but you're thinking one life, his stepbrother, who he knows has issues, as opposed to the millions of his nation.
Well, he had to do what he had to do. That's kind of like a dictator move. Like, you have to do what you got to do if you want that certain amount of power.
Kind of said it at the beginning of this episode. Like, he was like, "Oh, I did this to prevent civil war. I've saved millions of lives." So that was.
You justify things to yourself when you're doing that kind of thing. Yeah.
I had a question, and this is something I may have missed. The Raza. Why do we only see one? Is it a unique ship in any way, shape, or form?
The idea is that it is unique. And it was, you find out a little more about the previous crew in season 3. And ultimately how it fell into Portia's hands.
Okay.
Something I think I have forgotten then.
Yeah.
Because it's been about a year since I've watched it too.
Should review every 2 to 3 months just to make sure it's fresh in your head.
It's been more than that for me. It's been since it ended. When was that? How long was it?
It was 2017, I think.
Yeah. So
Oops.
that's how long it's been for me.
I
got mad, Joe. I got mad at you.
It wasn't my fault.
Joe,
You
Rapunzel
should have
asked
seen my
why
keyboard. I smashed it.
Oh.
Rapunzel asked, why did the crew not trust Rio when he shows up at the conference?
Because he just massacred
a
bunch of people, including his stepbrother, who was fairly innocent and supportive of him.
And she was scared of him anyway, because of what happened with her. She was like, I know what he's capable of. That's why she was hiding from him. So, by she, I mean 5.
Yeah.
Katie, do you want to take Matt Ryan's question?
Who didn't make it in the episode? It's a question of who did make it. I think the android's okay for now. I think everyone else could be dead. Honestly, there could be some sort of temporal space distortion or something like that, and they all somehow come back to life. But we'll see. I think the android's okay. I think so.
Oh yeah.
Who would you be most gutted to see die if they did? Who would you be most gutted to see die if they did?
3. As much as this is a character arc. No, I genuinely think 3 has taken over my top spot. Just because of his interactions with 5 recently.
I know, that was such a
cute
episode.
So
I love that episode.
That just flip-flopped their placing for me in my hierarchy. So, you better not touch a hair on his head. His poor, bloodied, beaten head at the end of the episode.
Speaking of the end of the episode, did you notice, did you recognize the individual looming over him?
I did,
supposed to?
What'd you guys?
I did.
Yes. This is a huge callback, but maybe I won't reveal. In fact, actually, I'm going to see if he might be available to us. Next episode.
You actually know who he is, Katie, personally.
Yeah, you know him.
Wow.
What? I think I was too much in shock.
In fact, that's how I knew this character was going to be okay, because of that looming situation. I was like, oh, okay, he's fine.
Okay.
Everybody else, I don't know.
I'm clearly oblivious and was not paying nearly enough attention.
Watch the episode
who's
again.
doing a rewatch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Katie has to leave very shortly for a weather emergency of some sorts.
Yes, we have the potential for severe weather, so I'm getting called in around midnight.
I wanted to go ahead and show her reaction before she leaves, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
So Katie recorded her reaction for us.
What is this the reaction to, Katie?
The end of the episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had a feeling, I was like, something big's going to happen. Like, what's the song, Something Bad's About to Happen? Like, that was just, like, playing in the back of my subconscious. Like, oh, something bad's going down.
You're like Han Solo. I got a bad feeling about this.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so here we go.
I'm in my comfy stained sofa.
Ooh, yeah, she'll walk it off.
The poisoning.
No, she's dead, isn't she?
Oh.
The end. She's what does she say at the end again? Let's see it.
This takes me back. I feel like I'm 5 years old, and my mother is admonishing me for talking during the church service.
That's too funny. That is too funny.
That was Katie's evil eye there.
Yeah.
That was literally like when something, you do something wrong and someone just goes,
Yeah, clearly.
how dare you?
Yeah. Like, I'm like, okay, 2's going to be fine. She'll walk it off. Oh, yeah. Yep, she's dead. And then I thought that was it. I thought you were going to end on that. So like, great. Frick.
Yeah, see, when that happened, I thought, maybe the android would somehow take the poison out or something.
Yeah.
And then
Suck it out like a snake. Like a snake.
Well, I thought maybe they had some medicine or something like that. That could be like an antidote or something, and then nothing. She was dead. She was dead, like really fast.
Yeah.
There was no chance.
Bad.
Katie, this comment goes to you, and John Burns actually brought it up the other day to us. Katie, I've been waiting 2 seasons to talk about, and thank you, John Burns, for the very generous super chat, John Burns. Thank you very much. Katie, I've been waiting 2 seasons to talk about this. Babylon 5 is a show I like, and it had an organization like the UN with a League of Non-Aligned Worlds. So I like the whole idea of the League of Autonomous Worlds.
I like that too. Because like in all the other sci-fi shows that you see, it's either you remember the Republic or the Starfleet or like the United Federation of Planets. To have worlds that are just like, you know what, we're fine on our own, we're going to stick together like glue, but we do our own thing. Like, that is something that would actually probably happen. So I love that.
I love Babylon 5.
I have yet to see it.
Same.
I've yet to see
I have to
last
hit
2
the main
seasons.
ones.
What, Joe?
You missed season 4?
No.
Yeah, I basically was watching, and I got to end of season 3, and then I don't know what happened. I started to do something else, and then I never went back to finish 4 and 5.
Gasp, Joe.
Yeah.
Gasp. See, that's a show that's got a good ending, Joe.
Okay.
You gotta watch that.
Okay.
John Burns, thank you very much. I don't think you have a channel, John, but please feel free to put in your Twitter or your Instagram or whatever you want to put in, so we're all connected. So thank you, John Burns. And Jeff has been, and Joe just brought him up earlier. Jeff has been very interactive with us on Twitter. So.
Wait, that was yeah.
My bad.
No. Oh my gosh. How did I not see that? Oh, I'm blind as a bat.
You know what character I really, really like, but he's also super annoying, is the detective.
Oh, yes. Like Reed, Kirkin.
Yeah, yes, I love that character.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also so stupid because when Six was like telling him the stuff and he's just like, yeah, right, you're just lying to me. And I'm like, dude, at least look into it like for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so, I was just like, you're so smart. Why are you being so dumb?
Oh, I saw it as a difference of instead of being dumb as being either obsessed or hyper focused.
Yeah. He's like
Yeah.
very stubborn. Like he's like a very stubborn.
He
Like-
probably thought he was being smart. Like, yeah, you know, you're trying to trick me. I'm smart. I won't go past that. It's like, no, you actually
Well,
completely missed.
Yeah, and he did go to check out after, Tu said, what, you heard the conversation. He did go down to check out and almost stopped the guy from,
Almost.
destroying the station.
I actually felt kind of bad for him when he just tapped the panel. I was like, oh, in retrospect, shoot the panel, shoot his arm off, shoot his this and this and that. I'm like, maybe it's just a TV show.
It had to happen.
It's so sad.
What did you?
Really cleaned the slate in this episode. You even got the bad guys. Jeez.
Now, did any of you think that? I'm sorry, Joe. You were going to say something.
Nope.
Did any of you think that when you're seeing this moment between Nix and Four that there's a chance for these two at some point?
No.
I thought it'd take a long time for Nix to kind of be like, forgive what he did.
Mhm.
And as soon as like the bit after that where you see that the other girl was like snooping, I'm like, this is not going to end well.
Yeah, she's dead.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Nobody thought. Nobody looked ahead and saw her as the queen of Zyron.
No.
I like the tension too much.
The moment you showed that scene of Misaki like looking at them, I was like, oh, she's dead. I don't know how, but it's over because that chick was jealous.
What were you saying, Daga? I'm sorry.
Just them not getting together. More often than not, when you see television programs or movies, when they don't become involved, there's more interest. And the tension that is built, whether good or bad, without them ever hooking up, I think, in my mind, is far more successful. For my analytical mind, if I was in Joe's shoes, I never would have put them together, ever. It was just too good to keep them at that half hatred, half love thing going on. It's just too good.
Mm-hmm.
They were the one ship that stayed in dry dock for me. Never set sail.
Mr. Keyframes, thank you for your super chat. Got to support the Brain Trust. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Keyframes. And before Katie goes, guys, thank you, Mr. Keyframes. If you have a channel to plug or anything, let me know. Before Katie leaves, there's some new people coming in and people on the replay. We have to get Katie to 1,000, and I hope and maybe Nina can help us out on her channel too. Let's all get Katie to 1,000 like real soon.
Sure.
Please sub to Katie, guys, if you have not.
I think I have her link here.
It's chaos, it's fun, and it'll make you smile.
And if you might not know that this is the same young lady who did the Star Trek forecast. What was it called? The what did you call it?
Fandom forecast.
Fandom forecast for the Federation, right? Yeah, that's it.
Yep, and there should be. We're getting it to work one way or the other. We are getting it to work. There will be a Doctor Who one before the end of the month. So let's just say it's a little strange to get the graphics the way that I want them to be and to also get on the screen without breaking rules. So we'll figure it out.
Okay.
But yes, I should definitely get going if I'm going in at midnight. So sorry, guys.
Bye, Katie.
Bye, Katie.
Bye, Katie. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thanks for your recording your reaction. Thank you. Gap says Nix will be back. Any thoughts on that?
Has everybody seen season 3 here?
Yeah.
Well, then she
But
does come back in a certain respect.
On a different plane. Yeah.
That was weird, by the way.
Mhm.
But we'll talk about that next week.
Yes, yes.
Guys, and everybody who has a wrench, please put in your channels. We grow together, guys. I want everybody to feel free to put in your channels and please sub to each other. It's important that our community grows and independent creators grow together.
Jeff he put that quote as right after I rewatched this again. I tweeted that out. I got a couple people that responded to it. I don't really care if they did or not, but I had to write that down, so I remembered that line. That was my favorite line of the whole episode.
That was a great line, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there was another line too that came to me when the male android said, "What are they going to do? Slit all their throats?"
Mm-mm.
That was the other line that stuck with me.
That was a good line. There was another line too that the android said that I really liked. Oh, what was it?
I think I know what you mean, but I can't remember.
Our android?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was like,
Oh,
It was
when she's
something-
talking to Five,
yeah, it was either
when she's
when
getting
she's talking-
dressed.
Yeah, it was either she was talking to 5 or she's talking to 2. I forget.
Well, I do like it when 5 stepped out. I think she just goes, "Wow."
It was like when she had the hot
Right.
chocolate. Wait, was that this episode?
I think that was last episode.
I'm mixing things up.
See, this is if you were here on a weekly basis, you keep this stuff straight.
I'm sorry.
Really?
Feel the guilt.
And don't forget, guys, everybody in the chat to sub to Nina, who has got some great content coming up afterwards.
Thank you.
Karine, what was your favorite part of this episode?
I definitely liked. I said that when 5 was changing, and the little talk she had with the android, I thought it was really cute, and it really showed the progress of the android, of where she had come to where she was now, to the point she was actually verging on getting really worried for her, for what was going to happen to her teammates. So I really like that. And I definitely like the fact that 5 was the one that went on this mission. Like, I thought that was a really great way for her to just, show that she's very capable. So that was awesome as well.
Yeah, I love that too, because you kind of like got to see her growing up too. Like she wasn't just like this kid anymore, and she was like dressed all, corporate-y, and she was pulling it off, and that was nice. I like that.
Chick knife fights. I had to go with that. But with 5 and the new android, her interaction with him and seeing that other android with emotions and work things out, that was a good play.
Did you guys all like see him as the bomb? Like, did anybody figure that out before it was revealed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the bit that I was like, oh, I think it might be him, is when he came in and revealed he was an android. And I was like, oh, this is a side character that's getting a lot of attention. I'm like, he's probably going to die some way. He's an android. He's probably going to blow up.
It was a great scene. I mean, kudos to our VFX supervisor, Lauren Bancroft Wilson. I mean, it was just a very tough scene to do, because we talked about different ways we could do it, and we didn't really have an airlock, but we kind of built the airlock. And so Lauren was the one who pitched doing his POV, being kind of blasted out the airlock and then cutting outside to kind of the full visual effect shot, and then having the explosion.
Now, here's my question for you, because I didn't quite understand what the android's motive was for doing that. Or did he not have a choice? Like, did they just plant the bomb in him and were like, hey, that's it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, basically, obviously, it wasn't his idea. I mean, he was created to work for Fair-Score, and that's all he's ever known. And he was given the upgrade in order to pass as a human undetected, but in giving him the upgrade, it also gave him certain, I guess, like a substrate of kind of an emotional complexity that allowed Five to sort of kind of reach him, which ultimately makes him decide to space himself in order to kind of save her and everyone else on the station.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it kind of backfired on Farrah's score.
Yeah,
Right,
that's what
to
I was
like
thinking.
give him that upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because kind of like how we saw on our android, how she's now caring.
Yes.
So that upgrade then obviously backfired because he meets Five and he has a connection with her, and he's just like, has like doubts about what he's meant to be doing, all because of the upgrade.
Mm-hmm. That's also an interesting point, that basically it's kind of a parallel in that our android feels guilty for risking our crew by not going on the mission, and ultimately this android feels guilt, and that's what ultimately kind of propels him to sort of make that decision.
Jeff says, I think the airlock scene got reused in The Expanse last season. Something similar.
I'm sure it was not reused. I'm sure they did their own version.
Well, a lot of sci-fis do that. The 100 did that too. There's a lot of spacing in the 100. Well, in season 1.
It was done in Babylon 5 too.
It's true.
What season?
That's a good question. I think it had to deal with Sheridan. It might be early 3 or late 2. He was captured by an alien race. They basically look like the Greys. And part of the escape, the rescue squad shows up, starts attacking the ship. They said, release the hostages, and they spaced them all. That's how they released them. So they got blown up. But, of course, Sheridan and the Narn that he was with, they escaped through an escape pod. But, they had 20 guys that they released out in space. But I think it was early 3rd season.
It's a scary thought to be spaced.
Yeah. I think because I recently rewatched the 2009 Star Trek, and I love the fact that when you do get, obviously you get some scenes where the hull is breached and you get people sucked out, and you kind of follow them, and as they're getting sucked out, there's sound. As soon as you're in space, nothing. And they did such a good job, I think, in that movie of portraying that space is this scary, noiseless void. So yeah, like in reality, like space is just like, oh, that's terrifying.
See, I got to ask you about that, Joe. She brings up a good point, and I've heard arguments on both sides. I am one of the ones who likes to go more realistic. If you see a space battle, you're not going to hear a thing. If there's explosions, you're not going to hear a thing. But then there's the artist side that say, yeah, but how entertaining is that? You want to hear the ships fly by. You want to hear things blow up and see fire in space. And I just go, just where do you stand on that?
I mean, well, obviously on Dark Matter and in Stargate, we had sound. And I get it. I just fall on, the side of sort of dramatic license, really.
Well, I feel like it's more of an aesthetic, depending what you want to bring to whatever you're doing. Like, if you kind of want to add a little bit of creepiness to space, that's definitely a good way of doing it. But as with most sci-fi, like, although you are trying to stick a lot to science, you obviously are bending the rules slightly. So, like, personally for me, like, seeing if there's sound or not, it's like, it just adds an aesthetic, different kind of feel to whatever I'm watching, really.
Yeah.
I think there's a big throwback to when you're watching the credits for the original Star Trek, and periodically the Enterprise goes, you're just used to hearing things moving in space. It's set in an aesthetic in the mind that everyone, you're in space, you're going to hear the ship.
I think Firefly was the first time I noticed it done where basically, I think they cut out, I think it was a Reaver ship that blew up, and they cut outside, and it blows up, and it's kind of a silent explosion.
You could hear it inside the ship. I totally get that, the vibration and.
Well, yeah,
things
the blast
hitting
wave would. I mean, that's what
Right.
happens in this case. They're rocked by the blast wave.
Right. So I don't think there's a wrong way. I was just bringing it up to see what your preference, and I didn't know how much you had influence on how that turned out on screen. If that was your choice, or
No, that as showrunner, it will always ultimately be my choice.
Gotcha. Yeah, but like I said, I don't think there's a wrong way or a right way, but I lean towards the quiet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe, would you like to take Philip's question? Was there going to be a crossover with another IP?
Well, actually, after the show was canceled, we were in talks with MGM, and there was talk of MGM potentially stepping up to save the show. And we discussed the possibility of doing a Dark Matter Stargate crossover if that were to happen. But sadly, we just didn't have enough time for that to play out. Would have been cool, though.
Yeah, they would have worked well together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what character would you have liked to see the most in the Dark Matter universe?
I think if I had to pick one character, just selfishly for me, I would have loved to write Robert Picardo's Woolsey, stuck on the ship with the Dark Matter crew, going on and off. Would be a lot of fun. That'd be a great episode.
That's great.
I mean, if anyone knows me, I'm just going to go Darren Jackson because
Joe, thank you, Philip, for the super chat, by the way, and Jeff as well. Joe, this is a very cool Let's Attack the Battle, very reminiscent of Let's Attack the Death Star scene here.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a callback to episode 10 of season 1, where she kind of uses the same technology when they're in that warehouse with Wexler and his crew. And, it's just kind of a kind of fun, futuristic, visual way to tell the story.
I always like the use of holograms. I figure eventually visually for the mind, it seems to make more sense to see things with depth than it is just on a flat screen. Whether it be maps or what have you, it'd give a more instant reference point to the mind than it would just looking at something flat. So holograms have always fascinated me, and I can't wait for them to develop faster.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask. I want to ask Adega this question. Adega, did you by any chance? This guy seemed very assertive. He seemed like a good leader, very strong leader. Did you see this guy? Did you see Joe killing off this guy? Hold on, let me put his image up. Did you see this guy getting whacked?
Inspector Kirkin?
No, the commander of the.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. It was good though, but I didn't see it coming.
I totally forgot that we had killed him off.
Right.
Joe kills so many characters off. He's like,
I know.
Get a few here and there.
Joe, you went total J.J. Abrams on this episode.
Yeah, I guess.
Killed a lot of people.
Yes.
Oh, see, this is ridiculous. When you said that, I was like, there wasn't any light flare.
Do you? I know what we've done on this show, but do you ever get heat besides people like Katie for killing certain people off?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
That's
the worst heat was when we killed off Daniel Jackson on Stargate. But though, in all fairness, the actor Michael Shanks parted ways with the production after a discussion with Brad. So it's not like we killed him off for creative reason. But that was some major blowback. And I know, like, a lot of people were not, people were not happy after we offed one. Certainly, they were not happy after we offed Nix. But
because I get a lot of heat from guys in my book early on. I kill someone they thought was going to be in there right away, and it's just like the heat comes like, so what?
Oh, yeah. So it's true. It's true.
because people get attached. I mean, I have to admit, and this is probably not the best, I'm not proud of admitting this, but when Daniel died, I refused to watch season 6 for a long time.
Corrine, you can tell that to Corin Nemec himself when next time he's on.
I have watched it. It was just for a while. I was just like, no, I am not ready for him to be replaced. I mean, I have to admit, of course I did watch the episodes Daniel turns up in season 6. I was like, I have to see those ones, because obviously I would be confused otherwise. But yeah, for a long time, I did not watch season 6. I mean, I did enjoy it when I did watch it. There's definitely a couple of episodes in that I definitely enjoyed. But yeah, for a while, I was definitely in denial.
And yeah, John, and I think that the shockwave of the explosion would be felt by them, right, John?
Yeah, definitely. By the way, the name of the actor who played the sergeant was Jim Codrington, who was
great.
Fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was really good.
Joe, would you? Time Prophet asks, would you consider making another series of Dark Matter without the Raza in the same universe? I guess. Say they were stuck on a cold moon, or well, I guess another version of.
Yeah, yes. I mean, it would totally be nothing like what I had planned, which kind of defeats the kind of the purpose of doing another show. Also, as sort of an 8-episode series where they're just stuck on the same place, I think we'll get tired fast. I think you will kind of want kind of the variety in storytelling and the ability to just kind of like open up their respective stories and deal with their backgrounds and their backstories, all the stuff that we kind of opened up for them that I would love to eventually pay off.
Joe, you just brought up a really good point about like limitations with regards to story. Did you guys ever feel on SGU limited because they were on the ship but they could get off it only momentarily? Was it limiting for you guys?
Creatively, I would say no, but from a, I guess, visual standpoint, the decision was made to introduce the communication stones, which were a device that allowed them to essentially switch bodies with someone on Earth, and that the conceit was that it allowed the show to feel less claustrophobic. Like you weren't on a ship all the time; you could actually, explore Earth. And as was often the case on Stargate, not all the writers agreed. I mean, I saw the reasons why you would want to do that because I said it opened up the world. I was just kind of never a fan of those Earth-based stories. My interest was in what was going on the ship all the time. So again, like I understand from a production standpoint why you would do it, but creatively, I preferred.
So was it? I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but
no. Actually, I'm answering the question quite honestly.
Was it done from feedback of the show? Then was that decision made from the? No,
actually, this was in season 1, and it was really simply done to open the show up to make it feel less claustrophobic.
Okay.
Because you were always on that dark, smoky ship.
And this Kirkin the guy is a great actor.
Yes.
He's
great
great.
character.
Chris Holden Reed, yeah.
It's weird.
Just kind of
Part of you roots for him, but a part of you is like, no, I hate you. Like, I don't want you to, catch the bad guys because,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I know what you're doing. I understand what you're doing. You're very annoying.
Yeah. It's totally like that.
Idealistically following the course of the police instead of actually the bigger picture and preventing all the crap that's going to hit. Mm-hmm. He was laser focused and he played that part really well.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of similar to the other guy too, the one that was hovering, the one that's Six's friend. I forget his name. The Galactic Authority.
Lieutenant Anders.
Yes, he's very similar to Lieutenant Anders in that sense that like he's dedicated to GA, But they're both very wrong because the GA is very corrupt. So they don't understand that they're kind of like part of the problem. And I think that Anders understands it more because he's more guilty of it because he understands that there is corruption. He's just like, there's nothing you can do about it. So you might as well just pick a side and stick with it. Whereas in the other guy, he really he's very absolute in his no, you're wrong. He kind of reminds me of, you know who, in Les Miserables, the police that was always chasing Jean Valjean. He's very, he's just in that, you are wrong. I will capture you. It's just an absolute character that he cannot see one way or the other.
That was a good
I forget
analogy.
what that guy's name is.
I never saw it, so I can't help you. Plus, I'm bad with names anyway.
Joe, before I put up the next image, Joe Ensign Ricky asked, who decided to kill Janet Frazier on Stargate?
Well, I mean, Robert C. Cooper was a writer and a director of the episode Heroes, Part 1 and 2, which I think is one of the best two-parters we did. And, he needed a sort of a major emotional moment. And the decision was made to kill off Frazier with the belief that season 7 at the time was going to be the show's last. So, he talked to her and the decision was made, and then we ended up getting picked up and going for another 3 seasons.
Okay. Thank you, Joe, for answering. What did anybody? So this is a nice kind of the two youngsters, a nice teenage moment here. Well, teenage, maybe not teenage, but.
I like
first
how
off, 5 was awesome, absolutely awesome. I liked how you set her up to be corporate, the outfit, the part where Tufo told her, you know what, my aide wouldn't look as sheepish as you do. Stand up and fly right. I thought that was awesome. And then to set the droid up at the very beginning to show that he has emotion, it was master. I'm not brown nosing at all. I really loved this.
Thank you. Yeah, great actor. Kyle Mack, by the way, plays the android. It's one of those instances where you cast the role and then, the character dies, but he's so good. You're like, we got to find a way to bring him back somehow. And it's a sci-fi. So
the sci-fi.
Yeah, and he
sorry.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
It just made me laugh when she left, and he was like, "There she goes again."
I like that line too. I just like how 5 is such a what is the word I'm looking for here? Like an android.
Advocate.
Yeah, she feels so bad for them, and she's like, "You poor android, let me rescue you." She's such a she's an advocate. That's pretty funny. She's like, "I feel for you, android."
Well, that was something that obviously he was missing. Didn't realize humans were like that. What was that line that you used? We're not all like that.
Yeah.
And the droid figured out, whoa, okay, there is a place for androids among humans with emotions.
Poor guy was getting abused. I mean, he got a freaking bomb planted in him.
Right.
That's pretty bad.
Joe
they're
has
so
the
mean.
Midas
They're
touch, they say in the chat.
They
Go
were
ahead,
so
sorry.
mean to him because they were like, not only are you an android, let's level you up so you can get empathy and feel like a human, and then still plant a bomb in you and kill you.
I was on a show over the weekend, and we were talking about this. It was, it's one of those nostalgic things. Everybody's doing it now about the old IP versus the new IP or the remake IP, and why the old is so much better than the new. And when you create an emotional attachment, especially so quickly, and I heard you were sitting there talking to feel bad for him, he has this, and you're automatically tied in emotionally to, and basically a non-human, non-living entity. And that says 2 things. 1, the writing is superior, and 2, like Joe said, the actor was phenomenal. And that's I love, like I said, it's scenes like this where you can see heart coming through, the intention coming through, and I thought it was brilliant. Again, I'm sorry, but I think the whole reason why we're missing the real good stuff is these actors aren't being allowed to do what they can do, and the writing in a lot of the shows nowadays just isn't allowing full expression of a story, or they don't even have the ability to write characters that we can become emotionally tied to.
Joe, let me ask you this question: How often has it come up that because of a fan, like a trend in the fandom, as a response to a positive trend in the fandom, you maybe write in something to kind of as fan service? Like, how often does that happen?
Occasionally, like I've sometimes named characters after some fandoms, fans, and then sometimes, if we get sort of like, or I get pushback on something I've done creatively, I kind of find a way to sometimes kind of subtly reference it in an episode. I think I did that a couple of times on Stargate.
I can't wait till I hear my name in season 4 of Dark Matter. That'd be amazing.
Wait for it.
Maybe Joe will make up the 23rd century equivalent of a female YouTuber.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Maybe play yourself.
Oh my God, yay! Yes.
It would be
all worlds.
It'd be rather hilarious if there was this major scene going on, and then you've just got your viewpoint as a vlogger, like, I'm here, and this is going on, and I don't know exactly what's going on. That would be so funny.
And thank you, Ensign Ricky, in your best Yaphet impersonation, Yowzers. Yes, Yowzers for Corporate 5. And Yowzers, of course, is something that Yaphet says on the Orville. Yaphet is, of course, our favorite ball of green slime.
The blob slime thing.
Yes.
He's so funny.
And
I love that Norm Macdonald voices Yaphet. I think it's like the perfect. I don't know why it was so perfect. So
it is perfect.
You need to watch it.
You're gonna want to point at me too. Sorry.
How dare you?
Yeah,
Kareen might join us for our Orville reviews as doing the role of Katie for episode by episode, watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Of course, Joe is always welcome, but I'm sure he's too busy.
Yeah,
well, he's got to get that Dark Matter season 4, so I understand.
Joe, you have some beautiful shots for the just brief moments, but they're beautiful.
Oh, I just love space station shots.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention at the very beginning, it was a very simple shot, but when Tori is looking up through the glass roof of her office building and she sees the Raza, I thought that was just a very cool shot.
Mm.
So
again, kudos to Lauren Bancroft Wilson and his team.
Yeah, that was funny too. She's like, oh, they're friends. They're not coming to kill us.
Yeah, I love the way she looked when she said it. She was like, yeah, I know them. It's
what did you guys think when 5 bumps into to 4 or to Rio? What did you guys think might have happened there? Were you surprised that he kept silent, or?
No, I wasn't surprised.
Not really. I mean,
he's not a snitch.
Yeah, and the whole feeling I've gotten while watching him, like, despite where he is right now, he still definitely has a soft spot for the Raza crew. Mm-hmm. Like, deep down, he doesn't really want them to get hurt, which is obviously ends up probably why he did right at the end, like, use long lethal force if you come across anyone, and he even warns them, like, get off the ship now, because basically he cares still. So
what a softie.
What a softie.
Yeah, what a softie.
There's a little piece in his heart for the Raza crew.
Jacob.
Well,
Sorry,
when
go
that
ahead.
happened with Nyx, I was like, oh, he's gonna be pissed when he figures out what went down.
Yeah.
So I was just waiting for him to find out.
Mm.
That's all I was looking forward to. Is when he
See,
was
I remember my thought process when this happened. So I was like, well, I could see that, she was going to be killed, and I thought, what's the other character? Sorry, I've forgotten.
Who?
Everyone
Misaki?
Yeah,
Misaki?
Misaki. And my thought process, this is probably just coming from my angle, I'm like, what are you going to expect Rio to respond? Like, by the way, I killed your girlfriend. You can love me now. I'm like, he's not going to, open his arms and go, come here, honey.
Well, it depends on how. It does depend, though. It depends on how much of a psycho he is.
But and
Because
also, yeah.
No, go ahead, please.
No, I was going to say it also depends on sort of the reasoning for her killing. I mean, the assumption is, oh, she's killing Nyx because she's jealous. But really, an argument can be made that she's killing Nyx because she could exploit the Emperor's vulnerability, and she's kind of a point of weakness.
Yeah, and there she should, in a feudal system like that, she should be praised for protecting the emperor in a twisted sort of way. But yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I had a question for the ladies, though. Simple one, because I picked up on this right away, and I think maybe everyone else did, but wanted to check. When Ryu and Miko, whatever, I think that's
Misaki?
Misaki, sorry. I am horrible with names, always. When they both say goodbye to the commander, did you know what the commander's job was?
When
They're in the hallway.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, I was like, obviously at this point we weren't sure who the bomb was, I think, or you were kind of trying to guess. And when that happened, I was like, oh, Rio's up to something. Like,
like on the station.
Yeah.
Oh,
just before he left, Misaki left, they kind of said goodbye to the one commander. Did you know what he was going to do?
Yeah, I figured it out. Well, I mean, I thought he's gonna do something bad. Like he's gonna probably start a war or something.
I think I had an idea, because obviously at some point in the episode, I can't remember who says it, but they say, like, in the alternate universe, how the war benefited Rio.
Yeah.
So I can't remember if this was before the scene or after, but that's probably what clicked me on to thinking Rio's going to try something.
Yeah, same here. Exactly.
By the way, this episode was directed by Ron Murphy, who did a fabulous job. I was just thinking back, that scene where Rio walks into his quarters and it's dark, and you just see two backlit.
Oh, that was cool.
That was
a great intro.
Yeah.
That was a cool scene.
Well, there's a lot of parts to keep track of in this episode, because it wasn't, up until, maybe it's a little bit more half. You'll have to, I can't remember offhand, but a lot of them were one or two character centered. This one was quite a few, including corporations.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things to keep track of.
A lot of juggling, yeah.
Joe, is 5 also kind of a foil for an android? The other side of the coin.
What do you mean by? I'm not sure what you mean by.
Oh, I think maybe he means does she kind of fall for the android? Does 5 fall for the android?
I don't think she's fallen for him, and it's a little too short. She certainly feels sympathy for him.
But I think she could, if she got.
She could, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think she would allow, kind of traditional preconceived notions to limit her ability to feel affection for an individual who may not be human.
She's like a pansexual or whatever that's called now.
What's the version of androids?
Yeah.
She's
I mean,
okay with androids.
I could definitely see them working. I think just Five in general has a very open attitude, which is why I like her character. She's like, she's not quick to judge, and she kind of just likes to give everyone a chance, and especially with the way I would explain it is like on Voyager, when we first see the EMH, a lot of the crew are very cold to him because they don't view him as a real life form, and then you've got Cass, who kind of thinks, well, that you're being stupid. He's part of the crew and treats him with kindness, and that obviously affects the rest of the crew down the line. I would say it's similar with Five. She doesn't view androids as a thing, but she views them more as they have a life that is worth acknowledging.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's like, yeah.
Joe, by the way, kudos to, like, for me, this, like, just like showing this episode really grounds the universe, because you're showing us how this whole universe works. I took joy in seeing how you grounded everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to be able to kind of open things up, but it's something that, given the show's limited budget, it's a little harder to do. Kind of world build is always a challenge.
Makes it more difficult having a corporation-centric universe to have the galactic authority remain impartial.
Yeah, but like any
who writes the most checks?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why. Like, okay, this part there was a little bit of I was a little confused because when Truffaut was sitting down, her sign said Traugot, not Mike. So I was a little confused. I was like, wait, doesn't she work for Mike? Then, yeah, I think either that was me making a mistake, or I don't know what was going on.
It would be like a production mistake. That's interesting. I will have to.
Actually, I saw it as the guy next to her, and it was the camera angle, because most of the time, or at least half of the images, she had the gentleman that was sitting to her left on screen.
Okay,
that was in front of him.
Okay, that may have been what it was, because I was like, wait, she works for Mike. Like, I'm confused. It's like, does she work for Traugot? I was just trying to keep up, and then I realized I was like, oh. No,
it was kind of more centered on her. The shot right there. You're right.
I'll have to find it.
You're right, Nina. It was very. It did seem like. By the way, Joe, great suits that 3 and 6 are in, and I love 6's jacket.
Oh yeah.
I love 2's outfit. Her skirt was like, I love that. I was like, yes, she's so sexy.
And 3 had the sequins dickie. That was funny.
That was great.
And the other part that annoyed me, I was like, it was the part where 4 was talking to 6 and basically told him exactly what he wanted to do. And then 6 was like, no, we're never going to let you do that. And then 4 just left. And I was like, so you're not even going to go tell 2 or anyone what just went down? You just basically told them you can't have the drive. And he was like, okay, well, he was just so dumb. I was like, why aren't you communicating with your, by the way, guys, 4 really wants this drive. And I feel like he might.
But he's on the station. I mean, in her mind, he's there. So.
No, but just generally though.
I'm sure it's something that will come up.
How dare they?
But I mean, also, she can't really she doesn't want to use the communication either.
This is before they go on the station. When he's talking to, before he left. He's telling them.
There's also the possibility that, they are aware of the fact. I mean, he did mention it to 6.
Yeah.
So, chances are that Six has mentioned it to everyone else as well.
Thank you, John, for the super chat. John, this goes to Corrine, to Coco. No, she's human and she's young, so she's free to be very or more human, as opposed to androids who need human-like upgrades. Has open attitude. I like that, Trash Panda Coco.
Oh, thank you, John. Yeah, it's just one thing I've always found appealing in characters that are open, which is probably why I like Daniel Jackson from Stargate, because to me he was very open. He went somewhere, wasn't quick to judge, wanted to understand. And I find Five is a lot like that, which is why I'm drawn to her. She's very open, non-judgmental, and tries not to rush into things as well too much.
Thank you, John. Thank you for the super chat, John. And Trigo was next to Truffaut. Yes, it was just the angle. Okay.
Maybe, John. I would have still blabbed. Either way, guys, this dude kind of seems like he wants the drive, like really, really bad. Like he might kill for it. Really wants it.
Well, even if they knew, how would they be prepared for when Ford took the opportunity to get it? It didn't make any difference whether he told him or not. If he wanted it, he's got the resources, he was going to get it. One way or another, if once their guard was down,
maybe they could have put more shields around the thingy, or I don't know. They could have done
more
something.
Shields around the thingy. What?
The drive part locked him out of there somehow. I don't know.
I think if we have to give tonight's Dark Matter Monday episode a title, it would be More Shields Around the Thingy. Thank you, Dina.
I make stuff up. I'm sorry.
That was funny. It was funny. And maybe when we get Joe, who was the I'm sorry, what was the name of the costume designer or the person in charge of Noreen. Maybe when we get Noreen, she can tell Adega and us where to go get this jacket.
Right. I think that was some of the outfits are bought. I think this one she actually made. The shirt is probably bought, but the jacket was made.
I always loved lapel-less jackets.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
They're very flawless.
I like this design because it's very futuristic. You don't really see this right now, and therefore, it's like men's fashion of the future.
And this actually makes a reappearance, I think, in episode 309, where they go down to Earth, and he goes undercover as a salary man.
I'm glad it does, because that's pretty sharp. She made it fit him really well too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I was pretty surprised when 3 got beaten up that way by Ferris. What did you guys think about that?
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Yeah,
I figured they were going to kill him when I first saw it. I thought, yeah, he's down. This is the end of 3, but getting hit with a tire iron like that, that just hurt. Hurt to watch.
I didn't think they were going to kill him, but I was like, damn, ouch.
Yeah. Joe, Natalie brings this up as well. I think it was brought up before. The early conversation between Tu and Truffaut. Is there a special connection between them?
Yeah, I think we've established a special connection throughout the first 2 seasons. There are a couple of times where they've actually had, I wouldn't call them heart-to-hearts. I guess in a certain respect they are. Where in fact they had that discussion about sort of the weight of leadership. I forget which episode it was in a previous episode. So they do have, somewhat of a connection. Although, there's there's only so far they can go simply because of the roles they play or the positions they have.
It's the meeting of two generals.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And this is the one of the scenes for one of the great lines of the episode. Do you want to, what was it again, Adega? It was a manly.
Yeah, it was a manly cry of pain. I wasn't screaming.
That's exactly. Two and truthful are professionals with a mutual respect and understanding for each other.
Also, was it just me, or did it seem like Five had kind of like stepped up her defense after that whole thing went down with, the other episode where he had to rescue her? I feel like maybe she took some lessons or something. I don't know.
Well, she's said for a while now that Four had been
training her. Yeah.
And you kind of see that in action in that episode where she ends up sticking the spoon in the guy's ear.
Yeah.
And then you see it here as well.
Yeah. I like that spoon scene, by the way. That was great.
Just a little further and it would have been over.
Yeah. My favorite was like how she kicked him in the nuts after that. That was great.
The chat's flying.
It is, yeah.
I know. I was dying.
Crazy cliffhanger.
My husband and I got into a fight about it. He was like, "This is why I don't watch shows that aren't over."
You could have waited for this. Just watched it with us. Orville Nation.
No, well, we were watching it at the time.
Right, of course. Yes.
And then he was like, "I can't believe now I have to wait for a year." And then when it got canceled, we had another fight.
Sorry.
Little personal thing for me. When I was little, my mom, she was an avid reader. My dad kind of was. And when he got older, he was more of a reader. But my mom would always read the back page first. Mm-hmm. And it frustrated me. And I'm just going, yeah, she did. I go,
that's crazy.
You're ruining the book. She goes, no, this way I don't get surprises. And I thought from that point on, it's like going, I am going to have to enjoy the surprise. And when you have episodes or books or everything, when you're at the end of the chapter and it leaves you hanging, I thought that is the way it's supposed to be done. I love that. And even if you have to wait 9 months for the episode or the characters or the situation to reveal itself, it's always seems to me worth the wait. It builds up a hype. It makes you eager to continue. Instead of, it's all concluded, we can take a breath and then forget about it. Oh, wait, here it comes on again 9 months later. I love that hanging on part.
Yeah.
Joe, Rapunzel asked you, a good question. How many major corporations are there in this verse?
I think we ended up counting about a little over a dozen major corporations. And then the League of Autonomous Worlds was made up of at least 2 to 3 dozen independent former colonies and the like.
It really does make sense with the vastness of space. Anybody can go out, find a planet, build it up, and declare your own independence from whatever existed before. So it makes sense.
You would need the money to do it.
Yeah.
Would we have seen more corps if Dark Matter had gone on?
Yes.
Nice.
We see here a long conversation. We have a couple of scenes where Six is trying to convince Kirkin of what's really happening. I thought this was interesting.
Yeah, this is the scene I was talking about. I was like, "Oh, you're so stupid, but you're smart. Come on, you can figure this out."
Again, that's another testament to his acting. You can look at that picture right there and you can tell what he's thinking.
Yeah.
And he makes that come out on his facial expressions. He has his arms folded, with his shoulders kind of pulled up. It's like he's defending his beliefs. He's a very good actor.
You can tell that he has a very cocky, I'm right and you're not kind of attitude.
He's sure of himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, casting is awesome. The whole show.
Thank you. A lot of great performance. Yeah.
Did anybody anticipate Rio boarding the Raza?
Sort of, yeah, because after he had that conversation with Six, I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna jack that drive. He needs it. There's no other way about.
He's an emperor and a thief and an emperor. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. He kept talking about it. He was like, I need the drive. Well, he's gonna take it. If you don't give it to him, he's just gonna be like, well, I'm just gonna take. I told you I needed it. Like, I'm just gonna take it now.
I love this picture, Joe, because it's like so manga.
Oh yeah.
She's awesome.
Well, I mean, the entire Rio backstory and this whole kind of samurai in space was influenced from. It's kind of a subgenre of anime. They call it swords and sandals in space, and so yeah, I mean, it was Dark Matter was very much influenced by my love of anime.
That's why I love 4. Like when I first watched it, I was like, he was like my favorite character because I love anime so much. So I was like, I love this.
What was the last great anime you watched?
What was the last anime?
Last great anime you watched?
Last great anime I watched. I recently watched the new Castlevania. That was pretty good on Netflix.
Okay. I'll check it out.
It's very violent though.
Okay, that's all right.
Did you say Castlevania? Yeah, that's very like blood and guts everywhere.
Yeah, it's violent.
And do you know the main reason I watched that is because Richard Armitage plays the voice, and I was just like, oh, he's got a great voice. So I was like, he's gonna do well in this.
Oh, that's funny.
See, I still have a hard time considering anything made out of Japan as anime. May look similar, but the feel and everything that they do when it comes to character development, I don't find that outside of Japan. But that's just me.
Joe, she was very smart in how to kill Nyx because she knew she probably couldn't take her, right?
Sorry.
With the fact that she used poison on the dagger instead,
Yes.
like she was intelligent about it.
Yeah, and just generally wants to cut down on time.
Yeah. And she just seems like the type. Like if she didn't have, she's like a poison-y type. Like if she didn't have that moment, she would like poison her in her sleep or something. She's just like that type of person.
She's a poison type.
Yeah.
Well, plus two, in martial arts, you take advantage of your strengths and you avoid your weaknesses as much as you can. And her weaknesses would be that Nyx would be able to figure it out. She knew it. She had to play around it. So it was smart.
Alrighty.
Droid shut down.
I liked how shocked the android was after like she woke up again. She was like 4 and she was like, she didn't understand what was going on, and then she realized what was going on, and then she played that so well. Like she was like surprised, shocked, betrayed. Like you could tell.
And then at the end, almost like despondent at the end.
She was going through a lot. And I mean, you see more of that in the next episode, but.
But that also brings up another good aspect about 4, because like I said, I like the character, is that he didn't have to restore her. He took the time to turn her back on.
But he kind of did, though, like if he wanted his friends to survive in any way, because she runs the ship. So he did have to do that.
Joe, do you want to take Time Prophet's question about her foreseeing like the poison blade?
Again, Nyx can't just automatically tell the future. For the most part, her abilities are focused on reactions and predicting kind of movements rather than being able to tell what if a blade is poisoned or not, for instance.
It's kind of
Plus,
like
the collective, when they determine things, it's done with a large
it
group
requires
of
a lot
people.
more, essentially, brain power. And Milo, for instance, was far more advanced and capable of that specifically.
And it's kind of like what Five said to Six quite early on in the episode, because obviously he was worried for her, and like, oh, we've seen this happen. What if it doesn't happen yet? And Five was like, well, time's very fluid, so you're never really sure what's going to happen, which is why the people who foresaw the future didn't actually foresee what Rio was going to do, because even though they have they kind of have a rough estimate, like they're pretty sure that's what's going to happen, but you can throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah, it goes down to probability.
But I was actually more surprised that guy that died in the last episode when Rio killed him, like the predictor guy. I was like, seriously, you didn't see that coming? Because that was, come on.
Good night,
he was so dead.
Yeah, the seers, right?
That last picture that you had too, I always had a soft spot, always, for the guy who's called to do the ultimate sacrifice. You see it, again, we mentioned Babylon 5 with the one ranger. There's this gentleman here who does it for king and country. And then sometimes it's not exactly for the right reasons, but still, to give the ultimate sacrifice for the greater good. I've always felt for those people.
I felt bad for him. I was like, oh, he's so dead. Because he was like right there.
Yeah, in this episode we had two, if you consider the droid as well.
Yeah.
John Burns leaves a comment about being analogy of Canada to the UN. Okay. And of course, we have the this is the final great moment, just when he's figuring out something's going to blow up. It was kind of a goodbye to this character, I guess, Joe.
Too little, too late.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, we have the final scene of the space station blowing up. And we have a few pictures that Joe has sent us from behind the scenes.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, we didn't get any last week.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't go through them at the end. Let me just make sure. And of course, as everybody in the chat knows, Joe has been so gracious to show us the pictures he was taking while filming was going on in Dark Matter. All right.
Or Rapunzel has this thing, she thought it was a transit clone, but the one way to ensure that everyone is who they are, they just don't have the transits on the station. You either show up or you're not there.
All in all, though, this was a great episode, Joe. I thought as far as season finales go, it was really good. I remember the first time I watched it. I love space station episodes in general. So I was like, okay, this is going to be fun. And of course, because we already had seen the future, kind of, not really, but like alternate reality future, I was like, okay, so this is kind of like, is it going to be one of those episodes that's going to show you like how you're going to get there kind of thing? But then it was like that there was that twist with Rio because they thought that they, stopped it, but then they didn't, but then maybe they did because it was weird, right? Like the way you went around it.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Thank you.
In general, it was like because it had so many aspects to it. So I really liked it.
Yeah. I mean, it was an episode that had a lot going on. And, a lot to juggle. And the challenge in those is finding ways to pay off stuff, but obviously leave, elements to pay, to
keep them wanting more. Yeah.
So this was our airlock. What you see behind there is our the rest of our stage. So it really wasn't much. Yeah. Instead of space, it's just
We're about 12 feet long, maybe.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool, John.
It was actually very tight. I remember Lauren commenting on that at the time.
I wish I could make this like I have a pantry where I keep my garbage can, and I wish I could have this in like as the doorway.
You have to do like a video tour of your place. I'm curious now.
Okay.
And let's see.
Yeah, okay, there's our signage for EO7.
Very cool.
Okay.
Very brooding look.
Yes. And those lights are bright.
Yeah, very bright lights.
Oh,
Aww.
Zoe and Alex.
It's just like, come back to the good
Okay.
side, please.
She's look, all is forgiven.
Aww.
Oh, and there we are shooting the knife fight on the bridge between Masaki and Nyx.
Did that take long to shoot?
I want to say probably yes. Again, this was a John Stead special, even though Ron Murphy directed the episode. John usually does the. And we lost PJ.
He said he may have to go for a couple minutes. He'll be back.
Oh, John Stead handled the fight sequences. It's fun actually. Ellen Wong, who plays Masaki, is so perky and bubbly and fun. The complete opposite of course, the character she plays. She was also on Glow for several seasons.
Oh,
Gorgeous
like the
lady.
one, the Netflix one?
Yeah, the Netflix show.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, she's great.
I heard it got canceled though.
Yes, sad. It was actually kind of weird that basically it was picked up for another season, and then I think because of COVID, they ended up canceling it.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
What a bummer.
Sorry, I'm going to put it up again.
Just out of dark matter questions, Joe, have you seen Godzilla vs. Kong yet?
I have not.
Okay. Are you gonna?
To be honest with you, I don't really get as excited about a lot of the pop culture movies and TV shows that everybody else kind of does. I feel I've kind of reached a saturation point.
Right.
Like basically, like kind of the Marvel universe is a great example. And I mean, I loved Marvel comics growing up and sort of loved going to see the movies up until Age of Ultron. And that movie kind of turned me off comic book movies for like years. It was like watching somebody else play a video game for 3.5 hours, which I realize is a thing people do. But I would prefer not to do it.
I can't do it either.
But I mean, now I'm like, there's so much of it that I can't even just pick one to go into. I just, it's like this. It's like Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's just so much of it.
Yeah. Okay.
See, I'm with you on Age of Ultron. I tried to watch it twice, fell asleep both times. It's like, all right, wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, I
Any
mean,
movie that puts me to sleep, it's not worth it to me.
Wow.
you know, there are other superhero movies that, I mean, I think I'd watched every superhero movie up until then. And then, you know, there are movies I liked and movies I didn't like. But
You mean you didn't watch the 4-hour Snyder cut?
I have not yet watched a Snyder cut.
I'm sorry, I'm just joking.
But I have not passed judgment. I'm not saying if it's, you know, I'm not saying it's bad or
No,
anything.
of course not.
I
Of course
just
not.
feel as though I'm completely overwhelmed.
No, I totally get you. I'm with you, especially with regards to superhero stuff. I'm kind of over it too. It is oversaturated. Godzilla versus King Kong, though. I was gonna say Donkey Kong. He's not Donkey Kong. I just love Kong. Like I love monkeys, so that's why.
So you had your money on Kong then?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Huh.
I'll be watching it sometime soon because I'm just a sucker for monsters.
It was just fun. It was just a fun turn your mind off movie.
Maybe I will check it.
Yeah, I've just loved monsters since I was little. I was fascinated with them. Like where most kids, when they were really little, would be terrified of Jurassic Park. I was just like, ooh, big, scary monsters.
Me too. I was like that too. She's so cute. Look at her.
There, yeah, with her sides in hand, going over her dialogue before the scene.
With her little wig.
Yeah.
But the other one is her real hair, like in real life, though. She dyed her hair. Like it's not a wig, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, she dyed her hair. So that's Brandon Tatarin, who was our first AD, and we named the Tatarin's disease after him.
Oh.
Every Friday he would wear a suit and tie because I would wear a suit and tie usually every day. So he would make it kind of opposite. Instead of casual Fridays, it would be formal Fridays.
That's so funny.
And behind him, there's my whiskey collection.
Yeah, I was going to ask for that.
That's nice.
Yeah. So this was actually, so we had actually wrapped. This was the last day of main unit shooting, and then we rolled into our, we had like a party. I think they brought sushi and pizza, and everybody just kind of relaxed afterwards.
Oh, that's
We had, like,
nice.
whiskey.
Sounds great.
Oh, there's Roger
Aw,
coming by for some whiskey.
he looks very happy.
That's the shirt that he wore in the scene, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Looks better with the collar undone.
Is that Anthony behind him?
Yeah, there's Anthony.
Yeah.
There's Jay Firestone, who's our executive producer, the president of Prodigy Pictures.
Oh.
And there's who's our production manager. And I, you know what? I should actually get Robbie to do one of these because he is highly entertaining.
That's
You
funny.
didn't do the scene right.
That's great.
Look at Roger cowering.
You need to remember your lines.
I don't know why, but I can imagine him just doing the Edna mode, like, snap this up together.
Oh, there's Jay Firestone. So,
Ah.
president of Prodigy Pictures, and those amazing T-shirts made.
Yeah, that's a cool t-shirt.
Cool. Now, Joe, is there anything? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that was the final slate, probably.
Oh, the slate. Ah, very cool.
It amazes me that those are still used.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you have to sort of before each, each scene, so that the editor, can know sort of.
Right.
Joe, is it? I mean, I've asked you this. We've asked you this before. Is it not a good idea to get some merchandise out, even if it's complicated to do?
I always like the idea, but ultimately that's up to Jay and I in Prodigy Pictures, and they kind of have not felt the
see.
need. So,
Gotcha.
And there's our, our fallen soldiers. So, that's, settle around, I think 13. We're averaging like a bottle an episode.
Wow.
Glenlivet's and some pretty impressive bottles. Look at that blue label, Johnny Walker blue label.
And you said it was author's tears or writer's tears?
Writer's
which is the
tears.
best one?
Well, no, it's not the best one. It's actually one of my favorites. But I mean, the Blue Label was amazing. I mean, there were a lot of really amazing whiskeys. Oh, there he is, all dressed up, ready to party.
Woohoo. Looking very definite.
So handsome.
And this is the episode with the outtake where they kind of like set the camera up and he was dancing the Hotline Bling. And that was one of the outtakes. I'll bring that in for our finale.
Oh,
and there's-
definitely.
Yes.
I had a question about the suit because you're a good dressed man, and I always go. My rule, and what I learned long ago was it goes to just above the thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a thumb or are you a wrist? Because he's on the wrist.
No, I'm kind of closer to thumb than wrist.
Oh, like how far like the sleeve goes
Yep.
down?
Yep.
Oh.
There's tricks to all of it, like
That's a good point.
where your belt
actually.
is situated, how long the tie is. You know, it all has a nuance to it.
You always kind of want. I mean, I like cufflinks, so I kind of like to shoot my cuffs where basically, you can see the cuffs as well.
See, I knew about the tie thing, but I never thought about the length of the.
You're
Yeah.
right, Adega. That looks
And
like it
then-
might be short on him, right? The sleeve
Yep.
might be short on.
And with the heels and the pant leg, sometimes they want them towards the bottom of the heel, sometimes just
tapered.
above the heel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tapered or
Mm.
straight.
So handsome.
Isn't he? Look at him.
Very.
Very, very, very. And that pose, just like, yep. Woohoo.
Ah, the ladies.
So pretty.
Yeah.
I love that skirt.
Yeah, I love what Melissa wore.
All right.
Oh.
Wow, Joe. So I mean, I can't believe we're at the end of season 2.
I know.
I know. 2/3 of the way through.
Easy.
But we have some great episodes to look forward to
Mm-hmm.
in season 3. Season 3 actually has several of my favorite episodes.
I love season 3. I remember it was a really good season.
4, 8, 9. Yeah, those were 3 of my favorites.
How many episodes is that? 10 episodes, right?
No, 13.
13.
Yeah. Hey.
Aw.
Suji!
Suji has her 2
Someone needs
cents to put
food.
in.
Yeah.
Of course she does.
Go for a walk, Daddy.
Yes.
Hey, Suji!
Okay.
Face. I love that
Hi,
face.
Right.
Suji. Oh, he's so cute.
You can relax.
Little baby.
How
Joe,
long did it take her to walk again?
I mean, it's a little over the course of a year. We kind of massaged her legs.
really?
She would only walk with a wheelchair for the longest
Aw.
time.
Oh my God.
And then we
So
sort of
in my practice, I rehabilitated a lot, especially the small ones because they do the jumping
yeah?
and hurt their backs. And so I'm just curious because it's to see it done without,
Well, I mean, when she first came to us, she would just kind of walk by her front paws were quite strong, her front quarters, and her hind quarters she would just kind of drag along. So that's why she came with the wheelchair, and we just kind of got her walking. We would use a sling to hold up her back legs so that she could start to exercise, and then we brought her for laser therapy, for hydrotherapy. We massaged, and we started like half a block, and then we do like a full block, and we do 2 blocks. And now obviously she doesn't even need the wheelchair. She's like super, like right now this is her saying, "Let's go."
Aww.
Right.
Yay.
So cute.
I'm glad
Joe,
you did it that way.
Yeah, thank you.
Any what's the big difference before we close up? What's the big difference between what can we expect for season 3?
Well, we closed another chapter in sort of the Dark Matter saga. Season 1 was about them, the discovery of who they were, the fact that they're bad guys, and then, appropriately enough, they get carted off to jail. Season 2 was them making the concerted effort to try to turn over new leaves and do the right thing, and it ends up blowing up in their faces, literally. And then season 3 is really all about the new big bad. and explores that idea of redemption and are you born bad? Are you product of your environment? And it's not the same for everyone.
Okay, wow. Really quick, John's comment. Thank you, John. The Monse cinematic universe might have been more feasible if Tom Cruise's version of The Mummy hadn't bombed harshly at the box office. Hashtag Brendan Fraser. Okay.
Yes.
Hashtag Brendan Fraser.
Fraser is awesome.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Closing comment from each of you for season 2. Kareen.
It's been a roller coaster, that's for sure, as usual. And I just love the way how, again, things were answered, but we were left like going, what's going to happen? So yes. And we're going into a season with one of my favorite episodes. And as obviously Katie isn't here, the famed time loop episode. Oh my days!
Yes, that's going to be really fun. I'm excited for that.
Nina, final thoughts on season 2?
The rise and fall of Ryu Ishida. I loved it. I loved what happened with Ryu. He is my favorite character, and I was desperately waiting for Katie to see that he was gonna turn. So yeah.
You missed Alex last week. Alex dropped by last week.
I know. I watched the replay and I was like, oh, of course he's there when I'm not. He's so hot.
That was amazing.
He's hilarious.
Tell him to drop by again.
I will.
Make sure I'm there.
And Speaker, it's Netflix. Where you want to watch Dark Matter right now.
Get caught up for next Monday.
It's also on Prime.
That's where I watch it.
Okay. Nice. Diego, final thoughts on season 2?
I have to go with a lot has to do with the android. You see character develop in a lot of different stories, but when you take someone who doesn't have a personality and then watch it develop, and then you have the other androids interacting, I love the whole aspect of it. But I'm always about characters being put in difficult situations and to show their humanity, and Joe does a great job of it, and that's why I follow a lot of what he does and other authors or people who do that. When you're able to, and it's not a matter of me being put into a place that I see myself on film or in a story. It's more like I see humanity and how these people actually interact, and having like I had mentioned it 3 times already tonight, the skill set of these actors being able to pull it out all through the whole season. It just something I hang on to. I love it.
Yeah, and one more thing to add, I loved, of course, because I'm Nina Infinity. I love quantum theory. I love alternate universes. So I loved the blink drive and the whole thing that that whole other universe being introduced and everything, and the alternate characters. Some of my favorite Star Trek episodes are the ones with the other world. So it's very like that, very similar. Is that like an homage to that? Kind of?
Well, I mean, it's kind of classic sci-fi in alternate universes, time travel. I mean, the alternate universes, they only really work once you've established our characters, so that when they go and you introduce their alternate selves, there's that contrast that makes it more fun.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you did an alternate universe when you just introduced the characters, it's not going to be as fun because you don't really know the characters.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be like, well, I barely know them, so seeing them in a different light doesn't really affect you. Whereas when you're really attached to a character, and then you see the alternate universe, you get excited. Because even though it's been done before, you get to see your favorite characters in this different light, and it's just like that's so cool.
Yeah, it adds another layer.
I love that.
I want to remind everybody to watch. Make sure you watch search on YouTube for Dark Matter After Dark. It pops up really easily, and definitely go and watch Joe on Dark Matter After Dark, because that's all on YouTube. And I want to thank the panel. I want to thank Kareen for joining us, Nina, Adega, Katie, and Joe. I want to do a special thanks to Joe, because I think it's and thank you everybody in the chat as well, and for the super chats. But Joe, I thank you for giving us this experience. I think that somebody who is a showrunner to take the time to watch, to go through this with the fans, I think is amazing. And I know that the chat is very appreciative, and we all are. Thank you, Joe.
Well, I appreciate, I've said, the fact that you guys take the time to do this as well and host this, and for the panel to show up. And also, the show means a lot to me too. So thank you for that.
Oh, it means
and thank
a
you to
lot
the fans for tuning in.
Yay! Yay, the fans.
And don't forget, guys, twist the arms of your friends to get onto Dark Matter, because we've had a lot of people join our community and start watching Dark Matter, and they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't do this earlier."
I've got someone recently, and that's why I'm doing that podcast soon, because I was like, you need to watch Dark Matter. If you like Stargate, you gotta watch it. And he's watched it.
I got a
So
friend
he's
of mine
like,
to watch it too on here, and he loved
Excellent.
it. He was like, I can't believe I've never watched this before. Where was I?
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you again, the whole panel, and Joe, Natalie, Matt Ryan, Jeff Beeler, Time Prophet, Galinda, Louise, Colin, Rapunzel, Susanna, everybody who has been in here, Ensign Ricky, Jeff Beeler, everybody, Speaker of the Dead, everybody who's been in here. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Mr. Keyframes, stay safe, and enjoy the beginning of spring if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. And we'll see you guys next week with the beginning of season 3.